Communications Commission will today auction a 2.3 gigahertz spectrum license to two bidders from the telecom sector. Now, this latest license auction is set to be in response to demands by operators for additional spectrum to deepen the current broadband penetration in Nigeria. Thecla Mbongue, Senior Research Analyst at Informa Telecoms and Media, joins me from South Africa for more on this. Thank you so much, Thecla, for taking the time out to join us. Now, only two pre-qualified bidders will participate at the NCC Spectrum auction today. Would you have liked to see more bidders for this license?
A little bit more in terms of bidders. It is really a sort of spectrum, which is very important in terms of deploying programs for mobile broadband technology. However, we have to take into consideration that whoever wins this auction will have to deploy a wholesale network. So that means that the network that is going to be deployed after this auction will have to be shared or will have to be open to other operators. So that means that probably the biggest players, such as, for instance, MTN or Airtel, didn't bother auctioning directly because they knew that at some point they would have had access to this network as well.
Now, Thecla, the big players were naturally expected to be part of this bid process, the likes of MTN, Airtel. We were expecting to see them on this list, but that didn't happen. Your thoughts on that also?
Well, as I just said, this auction will result in an open access network. That means that whoever wins the auction between the two bidders, which are Globacom and also Bitflux, a consortium, I'm not sure who's behind this consortium. So that means that those two, whoever wins the bid will have to deploy an open access network, a wholesale access network that they will have to open to other operators. That means that the likes of MTN, Airtel, or Etisalat, for instance, will be able to hire capacity on that new network. So it could be that they just didn't bother to go through all these auctions, knowing that they will at some point have access to this network anyway. And we also have to bear in mind that there are smaller companies, such as Spectronet or Mobitel, for instance, who also have already spectrum or frequencies in that spectrum band and could probably be up for sale, and another way to acquire spectrum in that spectrum band.
Now, Thecla, to what extent do you think this spectrum license or auction will deepen the current broadband penetration in Nigeria, which is currently at 6%? We understand that this is in response to demands by some of the operators to help, provide more speed in terms of the internet level at the moment.
So what we expect is going to happen is that once it is done, we should expect a new network to be deployed. So ideally an LTE network. LTE is also known as 4G, and other operators having access to this network. So that means that all the new players, well, the existing players, obviously the winner of the bid, but also whoever has access to this network will be able to reinforce their broadband offering with 4G services, and that means faster speed, for instance, and also better quality of service for their customers. We expect, however, 4G or LTE to be, in the first instance, adopted by high-end segments, such as other people with a big income, and also corporate and business segment, just because of the price of the 4G devices at present.
Now, Thecla, how do you see this all tying into the federal government of Nigeria's broadband policy, where it's hoping to increase broadband penetration by 5-fold in the next 5 years?
Yes, I think that this option is totally in line with the broadband policy. What we have to take to bear in mind is that the fact that it is a wholesale network that will be shared, we avoid duplication of infrastructure, and we will avoid duplication of infrastructure. That is, there will only be one network, that main network deployed for for this purpose, and we will that will prevent operators, for instance, for spending too much on in infrastructure or that are already existing on the ground, that are already being deployed. So in terms of increasing the broadband penetration, I think that if I remember what has been drafted in the broadband policy, the government was also trying to target a decline, to target.
Thecla, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this current bid process. Thank you so much. Thecla Mbongue, Senior Research Analyst at Informa Telecoms and Media.